Okay, so first and foremost, welcome to Exit Factor. Today, I want to guide you through what the onboarding process is, really what you can expect in your first month with Exit Factor, so you can get yourself off to a good cadence and get the most out of it in terms of value. I mean, ultimately, we'd love to work with you guys forever, but we have a timeline in here and we want to get you to the value that you deserve in your business as fast as possible. So I'm going to walk you through how you can take advantage of all of your benefits and set yourself up, like I said, for a good cadence from today moving forward for the rest of the year. So if you remember, the Exit Factor program really has four components. You have your business valuation, your exit assessment, which was what we get started with. And then once we're done with that, you move into this four bucket system where you'll be interacting with your one-to-one coach, our expert partners, our online curriculum, and our peer groups. So here's how it will work. The first set of onboarding steps is we're going to ask you for some information. And this is a lot of your financial information. We'll also have a pre-assessment call. It's typically with myself as the founder. And I'm going to really ask you a lot of questions just to get to know your business. I'm not trying to do a deep dive and be super nosy or curious. I just really want to have an understanding of what makes your business run the way it does, and have a good way to evaluate those qualitative factors in your business, so that when we deliver your assessment or your business valuation, we have a really good understanding of what the business is worth, not just from a numbers perspective, but also from those qualitative factors. And I'll say, it doesn't have to be perfect. We have a lot of clients that get like a little nervous around, sharing financials or sharing information about the business. First and foremost, everything we discuss is confidential, so you don't have to worry about that. And second of all, we're here to help. So if there is anything that you're worried about, or you're like, oh, hey, I feel like, I could be doing better in this area, no need to be embarrassed or shy about that. That's what we're here to do. So we want to know the good, the bad, the ugly. And again, it's confidential. That's for us to share together. So those are the first few steps. We get some information from you. We do a quick pre-assessment call to understand the business. And then we deliver your exit assessment, which will tell you what the business is worth today. It will tell you what it's going to take to get to your exit goal, whether that is a number you have in mind or a time you have in mind. Or if you don't have a defined goal, we can help you refine that through the assessment call. And once we have that, you really have your customized path in the program. We're going to pick 3 areas that you're going to focus in each and every year. And that's what your consultant is going to help guide you through. So your consultant, you will be matched with right after that assessment delivery. And typically you'll have your first consulting call within 2 weeks of that. So this whole first assessment onboarding steps usually takes about a month. Now, I will say we can move as quickly as 2 weeks, but we need your help too. So Julia from our team will be requesting some information, trying to book some meetings. And the faster we can get that information, book those meetings, the faster we can get you through this process and working with your consultants and into your peer groups. So on your own, while we're going through this stuff too, you're going to get a few invitations and a few tasks. So first, we want you to log into the online portal, which you should have received your login or set your login up as soon as you signed up for the program. If you didn't, please let us know. We can reset that for you. Start right away on module 1. So what module 1 is it explains how the business for sale market works and how valuations work. So an ideal environment, if you've gone through those first few lessons before we do that assessment delivery call, when I start talking about things like EBITDA and the seller's discretionary earnings and multiples, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know all this. I learned it all from the online course. And we can spend time really focusing on your business versus explaining standard industry terms. So get started on module 1. There's 4 lessons in there. Each of them average about 15 minutes. So not a ton of time dedicated to it, but it'll really give you some good background when you have that assessment delivered to you. The other thing I really suggest is starting right off the bat, ideally block 2 hours a week in your schedule to work on exit factor strategy. And it's not just like exit factor strategy, but this is time for you to work on your business. Right? So it's time for you to take a step back out of the day-to-day operations and really think about your long-term strategy and your goals. And that's what we're helping guide you through. So what do you do in those 2 hours? So the first hour is to work through some of the online content. So if you set up a good consistency, if you just spend one hour a week or do one lesson a week, There's 34 lessons in total. You'll have them done within a full year, even if you miss a couple weeks for vacation, holidays, and things like that. So first hour a week is just do one lesson a week and just set yourself up on the cadence. The second hour is what I call thinking and strategy time. So from watching that lesson or from interacting with your consultant, there's going to be a lot of things floating around in your head of like, how do I resolve this situation? How do I go from A to B? Or even some more like tactical things of maybe you have to design a new job description, or maybe you have to work on a new marketing strategy. And if we don't carve time out in our week to actually work on that stuff, our daily grind and our daily responsibilities are going to overwhelm that strategy, and it's going to just get put off further and further. And the longer we put off that important stuff, the longer our time frame moves out in order to accomplish our true goals. So in an ideal world, 2 hours a week. One of those hours is one lesson in the online curriculum a week. The second hour is thinking time for you to execute on strategies and tactics that you want to implement from the program. Also, super big tip, on the online course, you can either watch it like we're interacting right now in video. You can also go in and in each lesson, you can download the audio if you learn better by audio. I'm an Audible learner. Like I love Audible and I love listening to things. So you can put them on your phone and you can go for a walk. I'm a big fan of like just getting outside for a break. So you can go for a walk and listen to that lesson while you're walking, multitasking, getting yourself a break and learning at the same time. So, log into the online portal, get started on module 1, time block those hours. The last thing is just accept a couple invites that are coming your way from Julia. So we'll go through and I'll look at it this way. So your meeting cadence here, you've got a number of different meetings, and I know this can seem overwhelming, but we're trying to provide as much value to as we can. And I'll explain each meeting and what the meaning is behind the meeting, right? So first is your quarterly coaching sessions. So these are your one-to-one sessions with your coach. They're 90 minutes and they're just to work on your personal business, your customized journey through the Exit Factor program. Those are cannot miss meetings. You will schedule them based on your schedule with your consultant. Please be respectful of our consultant's time. And if you do have to move or reschedule a meeting, make sure you give them at least 24 hours notice. But those will happen about every 90 days, depending on your schedule. And your consultant will again reach out and schedule those for you. The second meeting you'll be invited to, the first Wednesday of every month at 2 Eastern time, we have an expert presentation. So this ranges everything from SBA financing to legal matters. We just did one on insurance. Our most popular one is tax strategy and how to pay the least amount of taxes on your business sales possible. So we have those every month, and you will get an invitation for the recurring series. Now, here's what's super important. Even if you cannot make the first meeting, accept the series and leave it on your calendar and pop in when you can. If you decline the series, you'll never see it show up on your calendar again. So make sure you accept that. These are also recorded. So if you cannot make one, they'll live in your online portal. There's a whole second course called Expert Presentations where you can go back and you can watch the recorded sessions. You can actually go back. We leave the recordings in there for up to a year. So even right now, you could go back in and scan the topics and you can see all the recordings for the last 12 months. Now, what happens live that you don't get the benefit from if you watch the recording is the Q&A, right? So we don't record the Q&A. There are confidential issues that come up on that. We don't want that to live on a recording on the internet. So we do have group Q&A where you can ask the experts certain questions. I do find, and we'll talk about this with the peer groups, we learn a lot from other people's questions. Like some of the biggest growth I've had in my business has been things I've learned from my peers or things I've learned through my peers. As they're going through a learning lesson or something in their business, I've absorbed what they're learning or the questions they're asking, and I've been able to apply that to my business in the same or a different way. So if you attend live, you get to participate in that Q&A. And again, that's not recorded. We talked about the online curriculum. That's one hour a week that you're doing that. And then last but not least, you will be invited to a professionally facilitated peer group that meets every month. So all of our members are broken up into small peer groups. We have 5 members or less in each group. There's no competitors, so everyone's going to be in a different industry than you and likely diversified across the country. Now, what do we do in these peer groups? And how is it different than the coaching? And why is it important that you attend? Things like that. So like I said, first of all, some of the biggest learning lessons I have had is through learning through my peers, right? And as the founder of this company and our consultants, yeah, we've got a lot of advice that we can give you, but sometimes somebody outside your industry or going through what you're going through is going to give you the best advice or experience that you can apply to your business. So these peer groups meet monthly. And what you'll do in the groups is first there'll be an opening question. We like to keep this fun and make sure like you guys get to know each other and you're really supportive of each other through this year. So fun opening question. Second agenda item is someone's going to be in the hot seat. And this isn't meant to scare anybody, but basically in the hot seat, what you get to do is you get to present on an issue or an opportunity you're facing in your business related to executing your exit plan. So let's use an example. So maybe you're working on getting out of the day-to-day operations in your business and you're having a hard time hiring or finding an executive assistant. That could be your hot seat topic. And then what the rest of the group does is they share their experiences or what they have done to resolve the situation in that business. So it gives you a ton of different ideas that you're able to weed through and figure out what works right for you, and then go ahead and implement that. So opening question, hot seat, that's one member per month. And that will be pre-scheduled. So you'll know a month in advance if you're going to be in the hot seat, and then you can help, you can start to structure what your presentation will be. The third agenda item is that the facilitator, which is one of the consultants, facilitates this group. You'll have the same facilitator every month, so you'll always be working with the same person. They will introduce a topic from the online curriculum. So yes, we want you to be working through the online curriculum on your own, but just in case that doesn't happen every week, like we have it scheduled, we're going to introduce 12 key topics throughout the year that really are going to move your business forward. So the facilitator will take one, say we're going to take the recurring revenue piece, right? How do you build recurring revenue in your business? And he's going to do a very short introduction and overview to that topic, because again, we have the whole lesson on it. And then as a group, we're going to brainstorm, how can we build that piece in our business? How can we build recurring revenue in our business? And again, you'll have some brainstorm things that you can share with the group, but also you'll receive a lot from other people's ideas. Now, how you really get the most out of these peer groups is being open-minded that somebody else's business, yes, is very different than yours, but something that they're doing in their business might be able to be implemented in your business and could be a game changer for your business and your industry, right? So that's the meeting cadence. Once a quarter, you're meeting with your dedicated coach. You're working on your business plan. You're attending expert presentations once a month. Again, these are also recorded and they live in the online portal. You're attending your peer groups monthly, and then you have that 1 hour a week working on the online curriculum. Now, I know this is a lot, and I know you guys already have a lot on your plates. And to be honest, all of this is optional, right? But the more you put into this program, the more you get out. The people that have that 56% increase in value and can exit quickly and for their goal sale price, they've gone all in on this program. If you don't have all of that time, most important is making sure you attend your coaching calls, obviously, and your peer groups. That's where you're going to get most of the feedback. Sprinkle in some online curriculum, watch some exit presentations, but that's where you're going to get the most feedback and movement. And it's going to remind you consistently every month, hey, I should be working on this stuff. I need to dedicate time for me and my business future. If you do have questions along the way, or you're not really sure where to go or what to do, you can reach out directly to me. My email is jessica@exitfactor.com, and my direct phone number is 720-443-4450. So after this onboarding call, if you already haven't been, you will be scheduled for your pre-assessment call. And Julia will be reaching out with that list of documents that we're going to need to complete that assessment. And you're also going to be getting those invites for the expert presentations and being placed in your peer group. So with that, I will end our presentation and just